So what does that sort of change need? As you can see, I'm not very good at PowerPoint, but here we go. It needs leadership. Most of the organizations that I work with now, I'm now a consultant, most of the organizations that I work with now lack the leadership to make the shift to the red curve. They lack the leadership. Some of them don't even realize that the red curve is an opportunity as well as a threat. A lot of them just see it as threat. It needs real leadership, honest leadership. None of us know the answer. Anybody who tells you they know how this is going to play out over the next 20 years is lying. Nobody knows. Google don't know, Apple don't know, we don't know. The difference is they're making bets on the future while we're trying to hold on to the past. Takes money. You do need to ring-fence money to try new things in new ways. It's interesting, the guy earlier talked about Project Ara. See, my German isn't that bad. He talked about Project Ara and the modular mobile phone. What's interesting is, Google, that was a sort of Google-backed initiative when they owned Motorola. Would that have happened if Motorola could have killed it? Not entirely sure. Not in Motorola's interest necessarily to deconstruct their existing business. So the money needs to have a degree of independence, and it doesn't need to be big sums of money. In the BBC, we piloted 6 iBooks for about £25,000. We basically took 6 series and programs that were happening and put a small team in to try and take the content they were generating to create new forms of content in the way of iBooks and other more interactive content. And they've now worked out a way where they can often do that for no additional cost to the original television production. So 30K has created a new form of content for them, which they can now do often at no additional cost. So it does need money. It needs total engagement. If the leadership of the business say, yeah, we've got it, it's a red curve, we need some red curve behaviors, and they don't take everybody else with them, it won't work. You need to find ways to engage everybody in the business in understanding what's happening now, what's going to happen in the future, and give them the opportunity to engage. Most staff, when you ask them, feel they're never given the opportunity to engage in shaping the company's future. This is one of those moments where you need them to engage, because where the future's going, no one knows where the future's going. Anybody in this room could have the answer. You need to find a shared innovation language or process. Some of you will have heard of CoStar. So you identify your projects by who is the consumer, what's the opportunity, what's the story or solution, what team do you need, what advantages this got over the things in the marketplace, and what results do you expect. Sounds quite dry, but within the BBC, we use CoStar within our development cycle to actually help us develop new ideas. And Man vs. Food, anybody seen Man vs. Food? One person at the back. Man vs. Food came out of a CoStar type process when I was running the Travel Channel. It can work. You need a learning culture. You need people who are constantly looking to see what's happening around the corner. You need to start sharing, great websites you visit, great interactive experiences you had. You need to find a place where you can share that and everybody can engage. You need to find ways of making rapid prototypes. And again, in an organisation like yours and an organisation like the BBC, where the premium is on quality, the idea that you would do something quite good doesn't sit with the culture. Now, what Apple and Google and others do is they call it a 0.1, and then they do a 0.2 and a 0.3, or they call it an alpha and then a beta. We need to find a way of making things which maybe aren't blue chip, but which are good enough to get the learning, to make a better version, If we just keep insisting that everything has to be the blue chip standard of our broadcasting, again, we will never get the learnings to make the new things. And finally, we need to remove the fear of failure. Within all traditional broadcasters, all mature organizations, there's a genuine fear of failure, that failure could be career-ending or career-defining. Whereas, I say, you talk to Silicon Valley venture capitalists, you talk to the people who are investing in these new forms of content which are going to be our competitors, one of the first questions they ask is, what things have gone wrong and what did you learn from them? You learn more from things that go wrong than doing the things that have always gone right.